Hey everybody, Diane Haggerty, Grassroots Taxes. It's been a long summer, welcome back. A lot of important things have changed recently and some big things are coming up. Most importantly, for my Arkansas business people, we have a reimbursement grant coming up for reopening or being closed. So let's talk about the new grant. It's called the Arkansas Business Interruption Grant. So let's see, who can apply? We have to be an Arkansas business. If you're a sole proprietor, you're going to have to file your tax return with a Arkansas address. Other than that, if you're incorporated, you have to be incorporated in Arkansas. Your business had to have been reduced or closed due to government directives. So let's talk about that. What does that mean? You were closed. That would be, I don't know, bars, massage, tattoo, hair. All you people that were shut down back in March and April, shut down for a couple of months, that was it. Now we reopened around Mother's Day, and guess what? Everybody's got reduced, right? So everybody's got reduced. You got half seating. So now what are we talking about? Restaurants, any place where you have customers come to you and you have to social distance them and you have reduced operations because of that. That's who we're talking about here, okay? Also, if you go to your customers and you were closed, say cleaning, some kind of maintenance on equipment, like if you were maintaining equipment and that business was closed, you had no work, that's what we're talking about. Either you go to your customers or your customers come to you. You have to have less than 250 employees. And you have to have an open tax account with the state of Arkansas, which means you have to be collecting withholding tax for payroll, sales tax, some kind of excise tax. If you do not have any open tax accounts in the state of Arkansas, you can do this, but I suggest you make sure to use an accountant because I'm not really sure what documentation you need to prove that. So, what can't you have? There is some disqualifiers on this grant. So, if you have an open bankruptcy filing, can't get the grant. Why? Well, because you didn't actually pay the expenses and they'll probably get forgiven in the bankruptcy. So if you have any Arkansas state tax liens, if you have a lien against you, get it paid today. Take care of it. If you are in default on any Arkansas payment agreement, get that fixed. Get out of default as quickly as you can. Or if you're behind on your franchise tax or revoked, check with the Secretary of State. If you haven't paid your franchise tax, you're revoked, you're not current. Dude, get it paid so we can apply for this grant. Time is running out. We've got a very specific amount of time here to apply for this grant. Let's talk about the grant. What is it? It is funded by the CARES Act. This is federal money that was come to the state of Arkansas that they have till December 31st to spend. So we got to do this now. They figured out we better spend this money, so let's spend it. It is for expenses paid by you, not racked up and not paid, not, things you actually paid from March 1st to September 30th. So obviously it's not stuff you still owe. It's all those expenses you paid for 6 months while your business was either shut down. And I've got bars that are still closed and you still have to pay the rent, you still have to keep the utilities on, you still have to pay the insurance. All those things that you had to pay without any income, here we go. Up to $250,000 can be reimbursed for each business. There we go. So let's start paying attention. So let's talk about what kind of expenses are we talking about that you can get reimbursed. Now remember, this is stuff you actually paid. Rent, if you own the building and have a mortgage, your mortgage interest. If you don't own the building, the rent. Utilities, maintenance, licenses, insurance, payroll. You have to keep people on payroll to go check on the place or do stuff. Well, there you go. Other things that aren't regular operating expenses. PPE, the all famous buzzword that everybody's got to say, personal protection equipment. So that means if you had to buy masks, gloves, things, hats, hair nets, plexiglass covers, whatever you needed to do that you're required to do, food. I know a lot of salons are putting up shower curtains between places, all that stuff. Technology, if you had to go to virtual operations, say you sent your payroll and phone people home to work at home and you had to get a link together or something to link them to the office. Technology for moving people at home. Things that you had to do to change your workspaces, like the tape you had to put on the floor to get everybody to social distance, the barriers, all that stuff. Okay, let's talk about things that don't count. And specifically things like lost profits, lost sales, things like that. It's not going to count. Why? Because this is only for things that are, this is a reimbursement grant, things that you actually spent the money for. So you're going to need a receipt, you're going to need a bill, you're going to need a contract. Another thing this doesn't cover is taxes. So they're not forgiving any taxes. You still have to pay your payroll taxes, you have to pay your sales tax, you have to pay your income tax. So all that stuff is great, but actual expenses. So let's see. What do you need to apply? You're going to need a couple things. You're going to need to show that you had a reduction in business. So if you didn't have a reduction in business being closed, some people actually did better. I mean, I have a lot of lawyers that did a lot better. Everybody got divorced. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. What do you need to apply? Sales tax reports from last year and this year. Yes, they have access to it, but you still need to print them out and send it to them to show that what you're reporting on sales tax is less for this period than it was the previous period. You need to show this. If you're not reporting sales tax, you're going to have to, again, talk to an accountant, get somebody to get some reporting together to submit. Do that now. Okay. You need your receipts and your expenses, and you need to complete the application online. Where do we do that? ArkansasReady.com. Okay, there's your website. When? Very specific period. November 16th is when this opens up for the grant. It closes November 25th. It is 10 days you have to apply for the grant. Do not wait until November 16th to start looking for your receipts. You need to start getting your receipts together, going through your bank statement, show you actually paid the expenses, get the utility bills with the address on them, find your lease for the building, find your mortgage interest statements, find the insurance you had to pay, even though you're closed, in case the building burns down. Make sure you find all that stuff, I don't know, like today, and get it all scanned and ready to go before that grant application opens up on November 16th. So, grants will be very limited. Be sure to apply early and start scanning your receipts now. Okay, if you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends and other business owners in the state of Arkansas. Subscribe to my channel. You know how to do that. I'll be back with more videos. This is Diane Haggerty with Grassroots Taxes, and I've got your back.